now I'd just like to introduce our last speaker for the session. It's Deidre Brooks. Deidre has been with the GSWA for 5 years and is manager of the Energy Geoscience, and will speak to you about the Energy Systems Atlas. Deidre.
So today I'm going to talk to you about the Energy Systems Atlas. The Energy Systems Atlas is a collection of new geological maps that is hosted within WAPIMS, and it's to help explorers of Western Australia's Phanerozoic and Neoproterozoic sedimentary basins identify such things as regional geological, structural and stratigraphic frameworks, important well data, and essential elements of petroleum and geothermal systems and subsurface storage. So the Atlas has a number of headings. Under these headings are a number of layers. And I'll go through some of these layers for you today. We also have a poster out in the demonstration room, which will show you a few of the images from the Atlas. So when we first started this project, some issues came to light. And that included, these are just some examples and not all of them. So there was issues with some of the data sets, incorrect paleontology information, only a subset of the bottom hole temperatures from wirelines had been captured. Temperature data was not actually placed in an obvious location. So if you were looking for bottom hole temperatures from wireline runs, they're actually under mud and not logs. So there's been duplication of data with only very small differences, such as null or a dash. And we've cleaned up the GSWA preferred formation picks and has identified that as GSWA preferred. There was also some other issues, such as systems issues, limitations with GeoView, which meant that we could only put this on WAPIMS at this time. And some of the IT processes weren't that friendly. Conflicting and circular sign-offs, for example, of data dictionaries, made the processes a lot more long-winded than we'd anticipated. So I'll talk about some of the well data by depth. So we've got these images now, and this is new images that have been collated by the WAPIMS team. Composite well logs, mud logs, and core images that have been submitted by petroleum companies. Okay, so the composite well logs. So here's an example from the Canning Basin. So on the right-hand side is the map from WAPIMS Maps. You select the layer that you're interested in and click on the well, and a little pop-up will come up and you can say display the log. And that's just the header I'm showing, because obviously the well is, thousands of metres deep, and the whole well log actually comes up, but you can zoom in to the parts that you're interested in. So mud logs, the same. So you select a well, and the mud log will come up, and it will be for the whole well. Again, you can zoom in to these areas or depths or the header to look for the information you want. And core images. So we still need to do a bit more work on this layer, but all the core images that have been submitted by companies as part of the PGERA Act are available to view through the WAPIMS map, through the Energy Systems Atlas. And there's an example of some core taken from Waitsia 2 in the Perth Basin. So another part of information in the Energy Systems Atlas is regional framework, structural framework. So I've got a number of different layers. First off, subsurface structure maps and sea base maps. The subsurface structure maps are GSWA created depth and two-way time maps through various iterations of seismic interpretation projects. And you can select what layer, grids are available, contours and faults are available. We've just put up some grids here because they're nice and colourful. And the other layer within the structure title is the sea base maps. So EIS has funded updates of the Canning and Carnarvon Basin sea base layers. We are also just embarking on getting new sea base layer for the Officer Basin. When that's available, it will be put up onto the Energy Systems Atlas as well. Stratigraphy. So at the moment there's 2 layers under stratigraphy: biostratigraphy, which is very important for age dating, and well correlations. So just go through how to get some of the biostratigraphy data up. So you select your well. So in this case it's Wallara 1 in the Canning Basin. You select your layer over here, stratigraphy, biostratigraphy, and all these coloured dots show wells that have biostratigraphy information. So you select that you want to show the data, and this is what comes up. And we've got the GSWA preferred tops if there are some. If they're not, the default would be well completion report tops. And then we've got different columns depending on the type of biostrat data. So there might be spore pollen, there might be dinoflagellates, forams, etc. A lot of this data has to be cleaned up, but at least we've got the system there to show it, but we are working through and cleaning up this data set. Here's another example. So where there's a lot of information, it all overlying, and you can't read it, so the ability is there to zoom in, and you can then read the biostratigraphy of Beekeeper 1 at the base of that well. The other layer here under stratigraphy is well correlations. So these are all GSWA generated well correlations over the years, and they're all in published GSWA reports and records. So to look at the well correlations, you highlight one of the lines and the well correlation comes up. Mostly they're a PDF image like this. Though I did find one in the Officer Basin, which was a little different. So there it's highlighted there in the Officer, and it comes up as 2 separate pages from a report. But the information's all there. As I said, that we need to clean up some of this data, but it's now available online when previously it wasn't. So another layer we're looking at is seals. So at the moment we've only got salt in there, but we have some regional maps, top, base and isopack of regional salt layers, and 2A time and thickness maps. So here's an example of some of the grids. We also have contours and faults. So I've selected here the Mallowa salts in the Canning Basin where we've mapped it to date, and in the Officer Basin in the Brown Formation. They're obviously different ages, but I just wanted to show you that there is multiple salt layers that you can bring up. Source rock. So this is obviously most important for petroleum, and all the total organic carbon, the rocky valpyrolysis and the vitrinite reflectance maturity data is being captured in WAPIMS, and we've developed a plot, a summary, geochemical summary for each well. So as per the other data types, you select your well and little square comes up and you select plot the data, and there's your summary. And there's different colour-coded spots in here, and that's different age or different laboratories. So you can see if there's any laboratory bias in any of the data sets. So here's just another way that you can look at data. So I've chosen source, but also reservoir data. You'll be able to do this as well. You can bring up data by depth, which has been developed by WAPIMS. And you can see there's a series of colour-coded columns. Here's the legend, what those columns are. You click somewhere in the column you're interested in. In this case, it'll be either vitrinite reflectance or rocky val, and the actual data will come up as per what you see in the WAPIMS tables, and you can export that. Reservoir data. So this layer actually isn't available right as of today, but we're waiting. For some reason, our IT processes to get these uploaded takes quite some weeks. So it is ready to go. So we're hoping it'll be available in a week or two's time. So yeah, this is just an example of the reservoir information. It's routine core analysis. So we've done plots of porosity depth, permeability depth, and porosity versus permeability for each well. And temperature data. So this is coming. It's not ready yet, but this obviously has implications across many different energy systems, including, looking at maturity for source rocks, for geothermal, and any temperature-related diagenesis in reservoirs. So we're hoping to have some temperature plots by depth and eventually some maps. Okay, and another new data type that's coming is velocity data, so 2A time versus depth from well VSPs or check shot data. And also hydrocarbon distributions, so hydrocarbon shows oil and gas fields and petroleum composition. So if you wanted to search for, say, wells that have natural hydrogen, you could select H2 and it will highlight those wells, or helium, etc. And thank you very much.